Hello, good evening, Miss Janine Parker. This is Eduardo Perez. I'm in Miss Marshall's section, and this is my extra credit video. You're joining me live, well, not live, but recorded from my room. I hope you enjoy my background. It's actually my poster that I'm going to be presenting on Wednesday. Wednesday? No, Monday. Yeah, Monday. Okay, well, starting out with Intercultural Exchange. Now, what is Intercultural Exchange? Well, the definition is, I got straight from the internet. It is a form of communication that aims to share information across different social groups. Now, this means a lot of things. I mean, social communication, that's a lot of things. It includes, language, culture, customs, tradition, music, religion, sports, food, all sorts of different things, and those are things you commonly communicate in the workplace. By the way, the workplace for me means in the hospital, because hopefully after I graduate I'm going to go to med school, and that's really what I want to do. I always wanted to be a doctor, so hopefully the hospital will be my workplace after I graduate. And how will intercultural exchange impact me after I graduate? Well, after I graduate, like I said, I want to go to medical school. So in the hospital, dealing with people of different cultures is something that I'm going to deal with on a daily basis. And this includes, people with different languages and customs and traditions, beliefs, religion, and it's something that I'm really going to have to respect and be sensitive of. You can't just say things for your culture and expect them to be okay with 100% of the people of other cultures that you meet. You have to be sensitive to that sort of information, the things that you have to be aware of constantly, and it's something that I think I'm going to do a good job of in my future career. Now, secondly, getting ready for your job and for my internship search. How am I preparing for the job I want? First and foremost, my education. I'm a biology major here at UF. I'm in my third year right now, and so I'm preparing by getting good grades. That's one of the most important part. When you apply to medical school, you need a really good GPA, and it's something that I'm struggling with a little bit, but I'm trying to work on. That's one way I'm preparing. Another way is by studying for my MCAT. So the two most important things when you apply to med school is, one, your GPA, and two, your MCAT scores. So I'm currently studying for my MCAT. I just started studying, in fact, so I still have a long way to go. It's a really hard, it's a really difficult and long journey that I'm taking, and I've just now started. Excuse me. And how else am I preparing for my job? I'm trying to find research. Research is really important, especially if you're trying to go to medical school. It's something that medical schools really like to look at. Especially if you're published. That's something it's hard to do, especially as an undergraduate, to get published, but currently I actually haven't gotten to do any research on my own yet, and it's something that I'm trying to do. I'm a little late on that. Like I said, I'm a junior, I'm going into my senior year, but hopefully over the summer and over my two semesters of my last year, I'm going to be able to find some research on my own to be able to maybe, impress the medical schools. And even if I do research in medical school, I'll already have a head start and maybe know something that I want to do research on. Let's see. Also, recommendations is something that I'm also doing to prepare for my career. To get into medical school, I have to get plenty of recommendations. I think UF requires like 5. So I have to make really good relationships with certain professors that I want recommendations from, and so that's something else that I'm doing to prepare. What have I learned through an internship? Actually, over the past summer, I was at a really good, really exclusive summer internship at Duke University. It's called, what was it called? The Summer Medical Education Program at Duke University, and it was a week program, and it gave me a really good inside look at what it really means to be a doctor. I mean, before that internship, you go off of watching TV and stuff that you hear. You think it's just, hey, working at the hospital and stuff, but there's a lot of components that go into it. One of the things I learned is what you do during the majority of your time at the hospital. And surprisingly enough, it's not interacting with patients, it's not doing surgery, it's actually taking notes and inputting data on the computer. I remember one time I was shadowing in the intensive care unit, and I was there for 4 hours shadowing, and for about 2.5 of those hours I was just sitting next to the doctor I was shadowing and watching him input data on all his patients into the computer. And it was pretty boring, but it's a very, very important and very, very necessary part of the job. It's understandable. And it's something that I didn't know beforehand, and I know now, and it's something that I'm prepared to do if I go as a doctor. You gotta do what you gotta do. And going back a little bit to the Intercultural Exchange, I actually learned that I got to see that firsthand, how you have to deal with different people of different cultures. I was shadowing also. I got to shadow a lot, by the way, during this internship. And I was in the pediatric intensive care unit, and there was a young girl who was in there with, she said she was like, she was nauseous and she was getting stomach cramps and stuff like that. And I think what was going on that wasn't being said was that the physician I was shadowing thought that the girl might actually be pregnant, and she might not know or doesn't want to tell her parents, because it was just a young girl. She was probably about 16 or 17 years old, and she was there with her father. And me and the physician kind of, I felt like we all in the room kind of knew, but it wasn't being said because the father was he didn't really want to talk to the physicians that much. It seemed like he was really not ready to accept the fact that his daughter might be pregnant. So it was something that, first of all, I wasn't even allowed to be in the room after a little bit because, the doctor took me outside and the other person I was chatting with, and they were like, hey, listen, so I'm pretty sure we're getting at that this girl might be pregnant, and this might be a really sensitive issue to deal with, so I'm going to ask you two to step out while I talk to you privately, with this girl's father. So we were like, okay, it's very understandable. And it just shows that how on a daily basis you have to deal with people of different cultures that, they don't like hearing certain things and stuff, but it's what you got to do, and it's part of the job, and you have to learn to do it and adapt to different situations. So that's one of the really important things I learned while I was there. Okay, number 3, develop and communicate my personal brand. So what is my personal brand? Now, actually, I'm taking a AEC 3030. Is it 3030? Well, the professional oral communication class, and we actually talked about a lot about personal brand there too. And there's a lot of aspects to your personal brand, and one of the things that really means is who you are, and there's many aspects to that. Excuse me again. So, like, what is my social and professional image, my connections to either my peers or my colleagues or my superiors, and my professional involvement. And what does it mean to me? Like I said, it's who I am. I see myself as a young intellectual student who is aspiring to become a doctor, but also is trying to get professionally involved in research, and it's something that's difficult to do. But it's something that I think I'm doing a very good job of, actually. I've managed to talk to a lot of people in my department, and I've developed a very close and good professional image with them. And what does it mean to others? To others, I think it means who they're dealing with. It means who they think they're dealing with. So are they dealing with a person who is very professional, who likes to get things done, or someone who's lazy and they shouldn't trust in the workplace, or someone who's, like racist or something bad? It all depends on who they view, who they think they're dealing with. And I think I've done a very good job, actually, of managing that. I think most people hold a pretty good opinion of me, a reasonable opinion. Okay, and finally, number 4, from offer to office, succeed in your new position. What are some specific traits that I have learned in my college experience that I will use in my career? So, the most importantly, what I think I've learned in college, and I think is what people really underappreciate, is the value of reflection. Just to personally think about everything you're doing and reflect on it. And I do that reflection not after the fact, but before actually I do anything, before my actions, I think about what I'm going to do, I think of the consequences, and decide what course of action to take. Is that a good thing I should do or a bad thing I should do? And I really do that for everything, and it's helped me in a lot of different ways in which I normally would not have thought it could help me. For example, when I'm working as a group and I see somewhere in our group project somewhere that we can improve, I think about it, okay, I can see that there's an area that we can improve, and how can I tell my group mates without offending them? And I think, okay, I could say, guys, you guys did a poor job on this, I can make it better, my idea is better. And then I think, how would that make them feel? Well, that might make them feel a little upset, and that might, lower our chemistry as a group, so I don't do that. And, that's part of my reflective process, and I think about that before I act. And then I think, okay, what would be a better way to tell them, bring it into them a little more softly, don't sound cocky when I'm talking, make them really feel like I appreciate the work that they've done. And that's something that I've learned and that I can really apply to everything, and I do. I apply it to everything, and it makes me build very good relationship with my peers and my colleagues and my superiors. So that's the most important thing that I've learned in college. Secondly, I've learned to not be afraid and to take charge and to really try to pursue what I want. There's a lot of opportunities out there that sound intimidating, like, for example, me for finding research. You have to talk to these professors and these researchers and doctors that have been working on campus for many years, and they're at the top of their field and they really know what they're doing. And here I am, just a measly undergraduate student who wants to work with them, who's never done research before. And it's a little intimidating to ask them, but I've learned to not be afraid and to really chase what I want. And hopefully that's going to come through for me in the future, because I've tried before and I've had limited success, but the limited success just means that I have to keep trying harder, not that it doesn't work. And you have to do all that while being respectful and understanding your position. And also time management. Time management is fundamental. Just bottom line of everything is time management. Before anything is time. It's one of the only resources which we never get back, and it's always being used up, and you have to really learn how to use your time wisely. And it's something that I've really struggled with. I mean, whether it comes from just not going to class or procrastinating, procrastinating is really, really, really bad. And it's something that I've gotten better at little by little. Waking up early goes along with time management. It's something that I've been getting better at. Waking up early doesn't just imply, you don't have to wake up early when you have stuff to do. You should really wake up early all the time and make it into a good habit. That's something that I've started doing, even on weekends. I've started waking up early, and I get all my stuff done. I get it out of the way early in the day, and then I have the rest of the day to, do whatever I want, whether it be to just study a little more, catch up on homework, have fun, go out with friends, relax, sleep, take naps, whatever it is that I want. Time management is extremely important, and you can tell by the quality of your work how much time you put into something. And it's something that I've learned and that I've started implementing in my in all of my work, really, what I do every day. I try to put a lot more time into it, and that works by managing your time well. And also, just communication, finally, is one thing that I've learned, especially communicating with my superiors when I'm confused or when something is not clear. It's much, much better than ask what you think might be a stupid question than to not ask and just go about doing work and getting it completely wrong. So that's something that I've learned, and that's basically it. Hopefully I haven't taken up too much of your time, and hopefully I can get that extra credit. I really need it, because like I said, sometimes I didn't go to class, and I need to make up for those days that I didn't go. So yeah, thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to me. It's been a great semester, and I'm glad you got to be my instructor. So thank you.